Hey, we're taking the next step talking about community. So here's what I want you to do. You might just want to pause right now, find a Bible, pull it up on your phone or whatever, but go to Mark chapter 2. And you need to read the story that's found in the first 12 verses of Mark chapter 2. You can do that right now, or I'll just paraphrase it for you. So in Mark chapter 2, there's a story about this man, and he's paralyzed. And so he's been confined to this mat for his entire life. So he can't go anywhere by himself, can't do anything by himself. His friends have to take him everywhere. And his friends hear that Jesus is coming to town. And so they're determined to get their friend to Jesus because they know that Jesus can heal him. So when they get to the place where Jesus is at, it's packed. I mean, it's standing room only. There's no way they can get their friend on a mat inside the room in front of Jesus. So they come up with plan B. They go up onto the roof of the house where Jesus is teaching. They carve a hole in the roof and they lower their friend right down in front of Jesus where Jesus heals him. The man who's been paralyzed walks. You need to check out the story, so do it if you haven't done it already. Here's what I want to tell you about the story in Mark chapter 2. It all happened because of community. It's not about Jesus healing the man, although that really happened. It's all about the friends who brought the man to Jesus. It's all about community and how important community is. And we see three things in community in this story that really stand out to us. The first thing we see in community is vulnerability. The paralyzed man had to make himself vulnerable. Now, he didn't have a whole lot of choice in a lot of things. I mean, they had to take him everywhere. They had to do everything for him. He was paralyzed, but he was completely vulnerable. Think about this for just a second. He had to have someone help him eat, help him get dressed, help him go to the bathroom. He was completely vulnerable. And we learned that to be in true community, we have to have an element of vulnerability. Here's the second thing that happened in the story. The paralyzed man had an element of trust. So they had to trust that they were going to get him in front of Jesus, lowering down from the roof without dropping him. Trust is that element that's so key in community and in relationships. And the third thing we see is this: spiritual growth. It's a byproduct of community. It can't help but happen when we're in community. You see, when the friends finally got their friend in front of Jesus, Jesus healed him physically. He was able to get up off of his mat and walk. But before that, Jesus healed him spiritually. There's always an element of spiritual growth in community, which is why community is so important. In fact, when you read the story, it says to us that Jesus saw their faith. Jesus saw the friends' faith. The question that I have for you and the question I have for me is this: are we willing to let Jesus see our faith on the behalf of others? Are we willing to take the next step in community? You see, the greatest gift this man got that day wasn't his legs, it was his friends. So I encourage you to turn off the video, answer the questions about your community, and take the next step with community.